Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a mystery reading. So today we're going to choose between either the ocean or the jungle. So don't choose your favorite, just choose the one you're drawn to the most, or maybe you're drawn to both. So go ahead and choose. Don't worry about these, they're not the piles. I'm going to use both. Ocean or jungle. All right, we'll get started right away with pile 1, which is ocean. Okay, hello, pile 1, the ocean pile. The first thing coming out right away is that you have just overcome some type of internal struggle or battle where it's like you were leaning this way, but then this way, and it was like two very extremes pulling at you, and you were finally able to go one way or it didn't really feel like making a choice. It felt more like you had this battle of maybe two different voices telling you two different things, and you would go to one side but then you would go to the other, and they both felt very strong. But that inner battle is over now, and you are freed from whatever that was making you feel held back by that decision or by that choice, or just not knowing which one to give your energy to. So you've made that decision, or it's been made for you, but it feels like something caused you to make that decision. So like the circumstances set it up in a way where you'd be like, okay, I go this way, or this is the one I'm going to choose to believe. So that happened. So that's great, because this came out after that message, justice. And the interesting thing is, you are probably someone who's been asking for justice, who's felt mistreated, felt like you got the short end of the stick, or just things were very unbalanced, very unfair, and you were wishing, intending, praying for that justice to come in that you so believed in. The part that's interesting is this is saying you are going to, like, this is going to be you actually. You're going to be the one bringing yourself justice. This doesn't mean it's on you to get back or to make up for what happened. It's you, there's some way that it's like you are going to be bringing this. So you've been wondering, when is it coming, when is it coming? You're going to be creating it. So instead of ordering a cake and having it delivered, you're going to be given the instructions to make the perfect cake that you want, kind of like that. I feel like you've already started this path to getting your justice, and you're just continuing on it. But this was a big part of it, is getting over that one thing that was pulling at you, confusing you. So let's see what else. This is another great one to come up, because this is safety, stability. This is like, and this specific picture reminds me of having just moved into a new place and you're celebrating. It's your housewarming, everyone's getting together, and you're celebrating this new place, this new home of stability that you have, that you've earned, that you've gained somehow. So your justice has less to do with how the other people will be affected and more to do with you getting what you deserve. So for example, and this doesn't mean that the people involved won't, like, they're on their own journey and going through their own karmic things, and it's not something you could totally understand. The thing here is, let's say you got robbed and lost some really valuable items, and maybe that person wasn't caught, or maybe they were caught but it seems like they got away with like barely any punishment. But it's less about that, it's more about you. Let's say you somehow win or come across like something of way more value than what you lost, like way better. And so your justice has to do more with that, with like you, with what you're going to receive. And because the thing is, let's say that person was caught and they were punished to the fullest extent, you still would be lost of your things. You'd still have to face that feeling and have to deal with that. So it's like, you may think it will be satisfying if justice is brought in the way that you're expecting, but what's really going to be satisfying for you is what you're going to receive. So maybe it's going to help you if you focus more on that than like what's happening to everybody else, and just know that you're going to be getting so much that will make you understand. It was like you would be like, oh, I'm fine losing that if this is what I get in exchange. Like it's going to be that much worth it. So let's see what else wants to come up. But I feel like you still are a little bit hung up on the other people involved, or like what's happening with them. Is justice coming to them? Understandable. But this is just saying you don't have to worry about that. Like you don't have to, you're not the one in charge of their karma and like making sure they get it. So don't put that on your shoulders. That's a burden, and it's not supposed to be your burden. You could be seeing 555 a lot. Don't have to, or just fives in general. Let's see, let's get one more. So you're being asked to choose what you communicate to yourself. Be very aware of what you're listening to, not just music, but shows, movies, podcasts, anything that's filling your brain with information. Okay, so I feel like some of you could be on, I don't want to say a dark path, but like getting into like what will happen to this person, or what's the karmic like pay for this crime, or that type of thing. Like you're getting a little too invested in this other person or the other situations that don't feel unfair, and so it's causing you to, it's like right now you have a fresh blank slate. You get to choose what you want to put on it. So do you want to fill it with things that are like that lower vibration of like, oh, I better make sure they get theirs, or do you want to just fill it with, who cares about that? What am I getting? I care about what I'm getting, what I'm receiving, how I'm moving on, how my life is growing and becoming prosperous. So you can choose which you want to give energy to, and whichever one you choose is going to set the foundation for this new chapter that you're in. So just think about that as you're deciding what's worth your energy. So that's all I'm getting for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for watching, Ocean Pile, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye. Hello, Pile 2, Jungle Pile. So the first thing coming up for you is that things are moving very quickly, maybe kind of feeling chaotic, but everything's happening right now. Like you could have felt recently like everything was really slow, or it was just this stagnation and you were waiting and waiting for things to move along. Now they have, and you're like, whoa, okay, this is fast, but I'm prepared, I'm ready, this is what I'm waiting for. But this is just acknowledging like, yes, this time could feel kind of overwhelming because everything's just being thrown at you, but you're really handling it very well, and that's why the momentum can continue. Because if everything happened really fast and you're like, whoa, I can't handle this, and like you got thrown off track, you stopped taking care of yourself, like all these things, then spirit would slow things down and let you adjust. But it's like you don't have to do that, because you've done that already. You've done that back and forth of like, it's almost like when I'm seeing someone, you're at someone else's house and you're getting in the shower, you're trying to adjust the hot and the cold so it's just the right temperature, and it's a new shower or one you haven't used, so you're not familiar with it like you are with your own, so you're like trying to adjust it, like, no, that's too hot, no, that's too cold, and you're trying to get it just right. So you were in that energy, but now you've got it right. And so yes, things are happening quickly, but you're handling it in a perfect way so that it can continue. It will either stay at this speed or like slowly increase as you are able to handle more and more. Also go a little slower if you're like, okay, I need a little bit of a break. But the point is you're in that sweet spot of like, this is the exact speed you were trying to get to and that you needed to get to. And now everything can really happen that you've been waiting so long for. It felt like it wouldn't even happen in this lifetime. But at the same time, you were told that it would. So it's like, okay, where is it then? Okay. these two came up together upside down. If you felt drawn to pile 1, I would watch that also, to the ocean pile, because the Justice card did come up there. So you need to know that there is nothing deceitful about where you're at. So you can trust everything. You can trust, like, if someone is acting one way, you can trust that. If a circumstance is presenting as one way, you can trust that. If someone's being kind and they're not usually kind, you don't have to be like, what are they trying to do? This has to be manipulation. You can trust it. If things are going well with your job, don't be like, oh, that means something is about to go wrong, because things are never this good. It never runs this smoothly. Trust that it actually does, and it is. The other thing is that you haven't even begun to scratch the surface of everything that's about to unfold for you in a positive way. Everything that, like, you've given so much, you've sacrificed everything and then some. Like, you thought you had nothing more to give or to sacrifice, and you still had more and gave more. And so all of this is being brought back to you in just the perfect way. You could be seeing 1111 or 111 a lot, or 000. So let's see what else. You've recently overcome, and this is similar to pile 1, but you've recently overcome something that was really tying you down, dragging you down. As much as I feel like it was slowing your momentum, kind of like driving but with the emergency brake on. So you're going, but it's like it's dragging. You were able to cut something off. This feels like an energy, a specific energy that was like connected to your spirit, and this feels generational. So you actually healed slash cut off, however you want to think of it, a karmic generational pattern that, like, people before you were trying to do, and even they weren't able to. They made progress though, and then it's like passing the baton to the next, and then you were the one that was going to finish the race. You were the one that was going to win it, and you did. And this is acknowledging that. And also how there's 2 rainbows. Rainbows could be significant, clouds. Maybe you're seeing rainbows. Maybe it's that type of weather where it's rainy and sunny at the same time. It could also be how you feel, like almost a bittersweet type of mood. But let's see. Hang on. This wants one more card to come out from here. Okay, I guess 3, 4. That's a lot. This was the main one, Queen of Cups. So you are, everything that's going well in your life, it's literally because this is the vibration you have held. You held it when nothing was going right. You held this vibration of love for yourself, for others, for just as a collective force. You held faith. You kept an open mind and an open heart. And now everything is starting to reflect that. It took some time for the physical to catch up, to be able to reflect that, especially since it had been one way for so long. But that change has occurred, and now you are starting to receive the ripples of what you put out. And that's why everything is good, getting better, and that's why you can trust it, because it's matching you. So I usually don't take a bunch that come out, but this is you, like, moving forward again in somewhat of a bittersweet energy, because it was a lot that you had to go through and give up, and you're not completely, like, you'll never maybe forget it, or it will always be part of you. Maybe it won't. I don't want to say anything for sure that I'm not getting, but I'm just saying it's like, as of right now, it is still bittersweet, getting better, but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, and it doesn't mean you don't still feel upset about the past. The point is, you're not in it anymore. You're not stuck in it. And you're able to take this mask off, where, like, if this robe was like a veil and she would have to be veiling and covering herself and protecting herself, you don't have to do that anymore. You can trust now. You're not being deceived anymore. You can trust yourself, you can trust others, you can trust your discernment, and you can trust most of all that this doesn't mean everything's about to go wrong. Because in the past, it would kind of be that cycle, like right when things felt good, that's right when things would get bad. But it's not like that anymore. So that's all I'm getting for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.